Hello, hello, hello. We listeners, them, we audience. Welcome again to this show, uh, to Viewers Network. Today is Sunday, August 4th, 2024. So, as usual, we start again late today. We normally our official starting time at 3 o'clock. So, we apologize for starting late. Part of that has had to do with um, not getting the program in the proper form that we want them. But so we always appreciate when they listen to we and where they make contribution. So very quickly, we know say everybody in time is important, particularly one of the most important time them, now that of we co-host Mr. Jamboria, who joins us from Norway. And they are about 5 or more hours ahead from we here at the east coast of the United States. So he's sacrificing a whole lot of time. By the time we finish this show, it's about midnight to run or beyond. So we greatly appreciate his participation almost every week because he's given up a lot of precious time for just day with we and follow we able to reach our audience. Very quickly, we also know say uh, this show is live. Because it's live, people can get the ability for calling and raise questions. People can get the ability for sending written comments, you know, and we allot always 3 minutes of time to anyone who want call in, who want talk about any particular issues pertaining to which the program is about. But you may also not limit yourself to issues or what we bring up. If you want to bring in something very relevant to the issues we will talk about, you are welcome to do so. But no, we don't have to compare apples and pear. But let's make sure that they get similarity in nature, so we can make sense out of what we try to discuss. And we strongly encourage everybody for calling or sending some written comments. Now, let me just go very quickly to the various numbers that we can always alert people and for listen to, for look in case they want call. In North America, we include Canada, Mexico, and the United States. We get a toll-free number when at 866-944-7722. 866-944-7722. So if you want call at no cost to you, you can use that number there. And the reason why it's good for use them is because if you call, you are placed on hold, you may be holding for 5 to 12 minutes. So if you're paying for it, now, they say you cannot afford it, but we want to make you know so you get option of not paying for it by calling the toll-free line. If you are also calling from the WhatsApp line, that is free universally, no matter which country you come from. You call from, no matter which part of the world you're there. You can call the WhatsApp line, which is 1-343-997-5828. 1-343-997-5828. You can call from anywhere. In addition to that, if you call from the United Kingdom, you get another toll-free or free call number. We're in a +44 2080891455. +44 2080891455. Likewise, if you call from Australia, you get a free call. You can make a free call at no cost to you. We're at +61 2909-84337. +61 2909-84337. Then numbers and there you can able call. Also, I want to inform you for say you can catch me on the air. If you're in Freetown, particularly in the Western area, in Freetown in particular, you can go na 91.9 FM radio. You can able gateway. If you go na 91.9 FM radio, you can able gateway. And if you want for really get easy access, try for go download the VOS television mobile app. And you will able to access the mobile app by going into the Google Apple app stores. So Google Play Store or Apple App Store. If you're able to download the app, the VOS app, you will able to get easy access to the broadcasting taking place right now, this moment. So in addition to that, of course, then they carry with the broadcast, or then they carry broadcasting on Twitter, which is now called X, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. So when I get many, and there are so many other avenues or outlets where would broadcasting they take are being carried. We hopefully by next week we will be able for telling the additional outlets where you can tune in and be able for get we and read what you would say. Okay, so well, welcome on our. We hope, as usual, we go learn from each other, make some sense, because there's a whole lot happening in Sierra Leone on almost a daily basis. And let me remind our listeners them, this is about watching, we want for they always talk about watching the trend. Of course, watching the trend in Sierra Leone, you might get social, but you have to separate social activities from governmental activities or government activities. So a lot of times we go get for talk about things that would take place, like flooding or like speeches made by the president or meeting held by the president. So people don't, not to foresee would inject politics into the whole process, but politics is a way of life where politics affect we all on a daily basis, abroad and at home, because there are people in whose hands the destiny of the countries and the people in the country depend. So those people are generally referred to as politicians. And it's just like a banker where you go give you money. Sometimes if you see the president or the manager of your bank, they live extravagantly, you will begin for wonder, say, I hope they're managing money pretty good because they live too much of a good life. So it's reasonable not to own a reasonable suspicion nowadays. So I don't think people should take offense, particularly if you're doing no wrong. If you're in government, you're doing the right thing. Let people be free to talk or speak out, as long as they don't accuse you specifically of any wrongdoing. But then get the right for look at circumstances and begin to raise questions. So with that said, today's topic will touch on one of the legal luminaries. I say that hesitatingly, and also one of the legal heavyweights, Dr. Abdullahi Conteh, we passed recently. So I will just make an observation as to the importance of people like him in a society, and then we'll go to a little comment about a politician by the name of Mohammed Bangura, who I understand is part of the APC party right now, but is talking about leaving the APC party because of some discontentment. So we want for touch on that, for just make some analysis as to why now and waiting at the motivation. And then we will touch on the thing about austerity / tightening of national belt for be able to pay down with loans them and for make people increase the standard of living for people. So we will touch on all them things in there. And then hopefully we will get enough time. Normally the program is limited to 2 hours, so we could try to do our best for not for go past 2 hours. So please, last but not least, the thing about calling. we strongly encourage, and I see people are complying with that, which I appreciate so much. Not only on the Williams show, but on the other VOS shows they want to see. When the callers call in, then take into account the notification what we don't give them, and they adhere to what you would tell them for say, please limit your calls, your comments to 3 minutes. So 3 minutes could be a long time. If you don't believe, say 3 minutes is a long time, hold your breath. Not breathe for 3 minutes and see how long you go hold them. It's very long. So you can say a lot, you can unpack a lot in 3 minutes. I think it's a matter of organization. If you make your comment in 1 minute and you better prepare your question in a few minutes, then you get your analysis, article. You can do all of that. You can break it down into minutes and say everything you have to say. Okay? But it's a matter of organization. If you not prepare in terms of the amount of time allotted or given to you, 3 minutes might go by very quickly before you know it. So I just try for let all subject yourself to the discipline. But if within the 3 minutes you find out that you not get all your points across, and we get a buzzer, we will come on, we will tell you say your time is up. Please listen to that buzzer there. Go off, and if you want, you can call back. You're always welcome to come back. And one of the reasons why we want that to be done is because there may be other callers on the line. So if you go beyond your 3 minutes, and I can always give this example, say like you are number 4 in line, you may end up holding all the way to 15 minutes before we're able to reach you. We will be hardly pressed for get anybody who want to hold that long, because particularly when we see different people and they call from different circumstances. Some man they walk, and break, it'll take in time. Some man in car and drive, it gets a particular destination where they go. And some man they now the best time this for before in Grand Pekin and come, or in Pekin and come when it cause noise at the house or in the home. So everybody they call from different situations. So we try for take all of that into account, and they will all adhere to the 3 minute rule. That will really, really, really help we. And so far, I will give a lot of credit to people that they have been following that instruction there. And last but not least, the lines are open as soon as you start from the comments. So if anybody get anything for say, please feel free to give us a call. Don't wait too long, because if you wait too long before you call in, we may not be able to get to you, because we want to break up in 2 hours from the start of the show. So with that said, let me also let you people know we get the esteemed Mr. Jallo Jamboria, who has always been willing to join me as a co-host, but he's always been willing to join other presenters in our VOS, because he's a man who has a lot to say with a lot of knowledge. And so I'm always thankful to him for joining we at the show, for let we all make a presentation. Also, we may be touching on economic issues, and we might get Mr. Abdul Kago, who may not be seen, but his voice will be heard in terms of helping us doing some economic analysis on this show today. I say we may or we might, because we are not so sure, but we will hope that we gain or we get some contribution from and gain some knowledge from the analysis. With that said, let me pass on over to Mr. Jamboria. And like I said, the lines will be open as soon as the conversation begins. So with that said, Mr. Jamboria, to you, sir.
Yeah. Humble, una good evening, una good afternoon, una good morning, wherever una they listen and see we from, because the time zones then different. Of course, I know say una go dey ask why this man all trending na social media. I'm here to help Sierra Leone. That's the only reason I'm here, and I want people for make we begin appreciate say let put to focus on Sierra Leone. Let put to focus on Sierra Leone. The politicians, the political parties, yes, they are important, but let put to focus on Sierra Leone. Let discuss Sierra Leone. Let's see what you can do for make Sierra Leone a better place. So I go reach stop there for now and allow Mr. Shyllon for continue.
Thank you, Mr. Jamboria. As I say earlier, I'm sure, I don't think anybody will get anything for those Sierra Leone. No hear yet about the passing of Dr. Abdullah Conteh. Dr. Abdullah Conteh was a very well-known man, and he played very active roles from academia by teaching at Frabe College, University of Sierra Leone, to becoming foreign minister in the Shaka Stevens government, to becoming attorney general, to becoming minister of justice, to becoming a legal practitioner. And of course, he accomplished some other things. He was once, I think, either acting or chief justice in Belize, and with some other Cayman Island, I think even the Bahamas. So he worked now all them places in there as justice. So we're very proud of him to have taken various positions in the now 10 other countries here, because we're always proud of one of we own when we see the talent is recognized beyond the boundaries of our own country. And so we want to just put it out there. Let we all you can call in and give your analysis of what, if anything, we learn by the passing of Dr. Abdullah Conteh. But for me, as a young man growing up, sometimes you get people them who you can look up to when you role models them. When I was when I was a teenager, going to Ahmadiyya secondary school, Nabo, and by the way, there's a tendency sometimes for people and for mix up the Ahmadiyya schools them. The first Ahmadiyya secondary school, Nabo Ide. Ahmadiyya secondary school, Nabo, na the initial secondary school. Now after that it was established, before they decide for branch of Freetown, then they opened another Ahmadiyya secondary school. And of course, they opened many other Ahmadiyya secondary schools then, upline. I think they built one at Joru, at Kenema district. They built a few of them up in the Eastern Province particularly. I don't know if there is any other one besides the one Nabo, is there any other one, the Southern Province. So, but when I go back to when I did Bo, we get role models them, what we all the school. I think every one of we. Because there are people them what we want to be like. I always wanted to be a lawyer, so there were lawyers whom I admired. Lawyers like T.S. Johnson. I had great admiration for him because he had a true calling for the profession and fought for the civil rights and the fundamental human rights of people. And I always cite the Krubali case where it take, and the Krubali case was a case involving a diamond dealer who supposedly was in Bamakonta, who supposedly was a Gambian, although Mr. Krubali's claims his parents were Gambian, but he was a Sierra Leonean because he was born in Sierra Leone. But give and take, regardless of the pros and cons, a very dreadful incident happened one afternoon Now, Sierra Leone, Mr. Krubale was in the process of being deported to Gambia against his will. So he was under the belief that Mr. Grant, when I be senior police officer, I think in the ranks of that of assistant commissioner, where once upon a time the district commissioner in Kenema, he don't get Mr. Grant for try for help him for letting him deport him, but knowing behold, when he reached Nawataki, where they take the handcuff from him, or when they take his hands off the handcuff, he found out for some Mr. Grant was behind his deportation. So as bad luck will have it for Mr. Grant, Mr. Kurubale sees some an iron bar that was just lying idle na the Grande, while they try to get into the ship for deporter. Now he take him, he go after Mr. Grant, the police officer, and kill him right in the presence of people, just beat him up to death. But the reason why I'm citing that is not because of the significance of the case, it's because of the role the lawyer played, Mr. T.S. Johnson. That's why I think he's one of my favorite lawyers in Sierra Leone. Nobody wanted to take Mr. Krubale case, so nobody was interested in. They were even talking about bringing a lawyer. Then, of course, the legal profession was taken very seriously. Then they make sure say they're not going to put you in a trial without competent representation. So they were even talking about getting a lawyer from England for kind of represent. They didn't go to any other West African country and say, we're going to get the best. The government is going to assume the bill. We're going to get the best for defend Mr. Krubale. We'll get again the best opportunity for defending himself. So Mr. T.S. Johnson volunteered that he can do so, or he will do so. We don't need to bring a lawyer from England. And he do that, even though Mr. Krubale killed this officer in the presence of people, but he put up such a ferocious defense that at the end of the day, Mr. Krubale was found guilty of manslaughter, not murder, and he was given 10 years in prison. Those days may not come again for see good lawyering, because we had people who had a calling to the profession then. T.S. Johnson also was renowned for defending APC all over the country, APC members, because then you will get Sir Albert Magai, who was arresting and detaining a lot of APC prominent people. So T.S. Johnson was going everywhere. I used to see him in Boye quite a bit. He was in Freetown, he was in Conteh, he was in Pujemo, going all over the country defending people. You don't get those kind of lawyers anytime. And he was not a rich man. He never became a very financially rich lawyer, but he did what in the profession required of him. So I'm bringing all of that up just for let people understand that in our country today, we need a whole lot of people for talk about them, or for talk about them, like I had to talk about T.S. Johnson. So going back to Dr. Abdullahi Conteh, we know they get all these great academic degrees. We know he held top positions there. But there is a song in America we can say, but what have you done for me lately? So with all the accomplishment of Dr. Abdullahi Conteh, sometimes you look back and he was a very smart, brilliant, talented person. My simple question is, what legacy is he leaving behind? Did it ever cross his mind there will come a time one day, like the rest of us, who would die? So my position is, me, Mohammed Shyllon, would talk to now. I don't want the whole government position. I don't want to rise to the pinnacle of national or international prominence, like Dr. Conteh them, because these are things we know they come by easy. It's a combination of luck, connection, talent, ambition, smarts. So when you get all the unique qualities or then combination of qualities and you happen to find yourself in a position of impacting the lives of people as a minister, as attorney general, as professor. You have to think, because what you want to learn from this, we have to think that the day will come when people will be talking about us in the past. And human beings being what we are, when you're in that top position, they be careful how much people then you destroy and how much harm you do. Because the light is shining on you. Not so we waiting at the bottom where we could do things then people do not know or people do not remember. And we as human beings, when you're there up there, you do bad. Now that we will remember more than anything else. But we hope to God you've done something will counterbalance, something good will counterbalance that bad day people want to talk about you. So I'm asking, I will encourage people and for call in to this show. I'm a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for almost, it will soon be 50 years, 48 plus. And I met Dr. Abdullahi Conteh in person, and I dealt with him in person when I was a young lawyer, when he was a minister under Shaka Stevens. But I'm not going to deal with the circumstances surrounding that. But I asked people them, and I posted something, what is his legacy? What's his legacy? How did he ever give any thought about how he would like to be remembered? A lot of us don't have to worry about that because we know all national prominence. And we know all position where they affect people in lives. But as a lawyer that I've been for many years, whenever I represent people in court, particularly when I was doing criminal practice, I now take any case any lighter, whether the client was paying me or I was court appointed, than the one who pay me more. Because I knew the power of being a lawyer in a courtroom, and I know what a difference you can make in the lives of people. And I know, say, that person there in future, then you hand. And so I took cases very seriously, and I defended them very ably, very ferociously, even if I have to make an enemy of the prosecutor. I left no stone unturned. Because that's as far as I can go, but I know in a court of law, a defense attorney has a lot of power. Because he's the only thing who stands between that client they going to jail, that client they losing his life, or that client they walking back on the streets, where there is true justice. I know they talk about politically influenced kind of trial. Okay? So I look back at Dr. Abdullahi Conteh them, Dr. Abbas Bundu is still alive. These guys should ask themselves, well, not so too many of we get the opportunity for impact lives, for become speakers of the House of Parliament, for become foreign minister, for become attorney general. These are very powerful positions, very powerful positions. These are positions that no one should hold for just for themselves. You for know the significance and know how you impact lives, and you for impact lives for the better, not for the worse. So I ask the question again, because when I think of Dr. Abdullahi Conteh, smart as he was, without a doubt, brilliant as he was, there were certain things. I mean, there's this issue about the 1991 Constitution. His name is always linked to that Constitution. Either they say he was a minister, he was the Attorney General at the time, therefore he has something to do with it. He didn't raise any objection, and we're living with that Constitution to this day. Or that he was the drafter and framer and author of that Constitution Day. We can argue that, we can raise the issue. People are free to call in because we want the records to be corrected. But unfortunately, Dr. Abdullahi Conteh was alive 2-3 weeks ago. I don't know what condition his mind was in or what his physical fitness was. But this rumor about him having something to do with 1991 Constitution has been going around for years. If he had nothing to do with it, or just had minimal contact with it, I think he owed it to the public for make we all know, say, listen, he's being blamed for something he had little or nothing to do with. Because we don't want to be playing guesswork. This is national things of national issues. And we want to give credit where credit is due. So we don't want to say anything about anyone of which the person had nothing to do with. So, but it is the situation. A lot of talk about the 1991 Constitution. But one thing I know for as a fact, Dr. Abbas Bundu, Dr. Abdullah Conteh, I'm sorry, was alive and well when some of when they listen to this show may have been too young to know what transpired between Dr. Mohammed Surifona, journalist Ibrahim Taki, and many others who were the ones who brought APC to prominence in the 60s and were the pillars of APC. At some point, they fell out with APC and decided to form their own political party, which I can't remember the name now. But one thing led to another. Then former APC people there, they were all accused of trying to overthrow the Stevens government. Some claimed falsely, because they were, if not this country, they were way ahead in the polls. They were likely to defeat APC at an election. They were charged with treason and they were all executed without mercy. These are guys who helped the APC to come to power. People like those guys were a role model, because you see them, you say, wow, I volunteer as an APC polling agent, Nabo, as a teenager. I wouldn't go home. I get for lie to me, daddy say, we get for study for GCE, therefore. Daddy, please make an come home and say, okay, take care of yourself, but I was lying. I was so much involved in politics, I wanted to be a polling agent. And I was a polling agent at the district council, Nabo, the APC private polling agent. Okay, for make sure, say, because there was rumor talking about SLPP was going to steal ballot boxes then, my guy was going to do this. You're young, you're not scared of anything. So 2:00 a.m., I was there. Okay. So for me, for come abroad and subsequently, hearing for say, these people, when they kind of I had to stop everything I want for do, go on a parking ground for go listen to them, the campaign. Politics was very enjoyable then. For hearing for say, they were found guilty of treason and were spared no mercy, and they were executed after bringing APC into power. You know? So, well, Dr. Abdullah Conteh was around. You know? Sometimes, those are the times you need to step forward and stop things. Use your influence, or don't be a part of it, or resign. Let people know, say you're not mixed. But we always see opportunity and this individualistic mentality. I will not forget to say Dr. Abdullah Conteh also was the lead prosecutor in the case of FM Mina, who was once vice president under Shaka Stevens. He was the lead prosecutor, and FM Mina was a prominent lawyer. He started off as a prominent SLPP person, but with APC kind of power, he was one of those. Again, the lack of principle on the part of a politician, then he switched. Again, opportunity. He rose to the rank of vice president of Shaka Stevens of Sierra Leone. But eventually, something happened. We don't know the full story. But Dr. Abdullah Conteh was the prosecutor in that case, and FMINA was found guilty of whatever I think he was accused of, and he was executed again. I mean, and not that he was executed twice. The act of Dr. Abdullah Conteh, again, that I'm talking about. So those things come out very prominently in me, your mind. But I don't want to take any credit away from the jurist, Dr. Abdullahi Conteh. So if people are aware of anything where we are left behind in terms of giving this man what is due, besides the academic accomplishments, then, because that has no bearing on the lives of the ordinary people or the people he had the power whose life to change. But please call in, because we don't want to take any credit away from him. But that's what I remember. So I asked the question, what do we remember Dr. Abdullahi Conteh for? And what you will know when are the meaningful contribution he make with all this book we learn. And he was a wonderful sportsman. I think he was a 100-meter runner. He was a great athlete. But with all of that at the end of it all, we want to know when you accomplish or you rise to the level of which Dr. Abdullahi Conteh rise to, what difference did you make in the lives of people? That becomes the ultimate question. So please, call us, educate us, let we know what he had to the jurisprudence of Sierra Leone, the body of laws of Sierra Leone. Let we know some of the things then we in a progressive things then we implement or we help influence for be implemented we people in the enjoy today. So I hope anybody will get information we may not bring out in terms of in goodness, please feel free for call. And I just want to add one thing. I say FM Mina was it was a vice, I think now be vice president under Shaka Stevens, but it may be President Momo, So things, it was vice president under President Joseph Momo, I'm sorry, but somehow he was accused of something where I rose up to the level of treason, and the next thing you know, Dr. Abdullahi Conteh was the prosecutor and he was found guilty. But to me, I'm just concerned about the extremism, the thing about just snuffing the life out of people. These are people who they could have received life sentences, they could have been banished out of the country, there are many things, but you just take such extreme action against some of these people who had just as much right to disagree. Doesn't sit well with me. Politics has nothing to do with it. Like I say, may not be APC Bobo. I can see everything in the APC way, but I don't. I never once was SLPP, but I'm like a referee. Even if I favor a team, I get for call the game as I see them, not as who I want for win. So me just call on that way there, because at the end of the day, the country, now we're all young. Okay? So me not believe too much in the party business like I used to. So with that said, I don't want to dominate the conversation too long, but we condolences, or me and personal condolences to the Abdullahi Conteh family. We pray that in soul rest in peace. But we want to be able to say a lot of good things about to top people then. So I hope Dr. Abbas Bundu and then one day, what you do, take the left parliament. I wish he can spend the remainder of his life trying to do good things for improve people in life. Because the day will come, we will ask the same question. With all of Dr. Abbas Bundu in Cambridge and Mano River and all the prominent positions that we hold, what has he done for us lately? Like I'm asking the question now. No offense intended. So with that said, let me hand you people over to Mr. Jamboria, who may not want to touch this issue because he will not deal with him by another show. But he's welcome to say anything he wants to say in that respect. Mr. Jamboria, you have anything to say, sir? I think you're muted.
May his soul rest in peace. That's all I would say.
Thank you very much. That's what we should wish every one of us. So before I proceed, let me just take a call so I don't want to keep callers them on the line too long. Then we will go to the next topic. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you call from? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you call from?
Yeah, Shyllon. How you doing?
Yes, sir. I do very well.
Yeah, some of us would remember the problem, but before I say anything, may his soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
Would remember the Abraham Conteh for during in own days, we had fewer educated people of that caliber than the world. If you have wanted to go internationally, a place like UN or other places, you would have said, but I believe say because of the love of the country, he chose to stay. And now one of the founding members of the law school as alone, not only the government served, even though he was known for go after aggressively to the point like Mina, FM Mina and others, because I don't know, because Mina, he came from SLPP or whatever, he went as far as vice president. He was the attorney general, went as far as vice president. Even when we have to more, he takes Mina in position, and he have no mercy of him. I don't know the day, we don't know. Other trial go, but Mina wrote a very, very important letter with anybody up to now. When you read that, you go and cry. You go after him, he kill him. Dr. Abla Conteh, he was the vice president leading towards the failed regime. When more publicly declared they don't fail the nation. As he was the vice president under that regime, where there was no justice in Sierra Leone, which led to one of the senseless of the war. He never ever, till death, apologize to Sierra Leone. That regime was totally a failed regime. That will be we go slow. We school they open, they take 1 month, 2 months before school open at alone. But actually the government failed under the regime. And he was the vice president. I will never hear it say he ever apologized to Sierra Leoneans like Momo did, Boss did. And since that time, he left alone. He goes to other countries, internationally, other places, very importantly. But he not ever come back as alone. So virtually in education, plus all the leaders by then, including Abagulu and others, they stayed alone. And because of the failure, it led to one of the dark days in our country, that war, wherein 50,000 or more people were killed. I hope the owners will remember. So we'll start. I'll call back. I don't want to go above in number time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and welcome tribute and contribution to the passing of this great man. So other callers are free to call and say whatever they want to say. Whether what they have to say is critical, I think we don't have any objection to any of that as long as it's done with respect. So, but for now, that's an important news for share with the rest of us. So I'm moving to another topic. We also get another issue that we want to touch on, and that is here is a very prominent APC member by the name of Mohammed Bangura, who since the 2023 elections has had some problems with, in party, the APC party, for being non-compliant with some prohibitions them or some policies then with the party states. I think Mr. Mohammed Bangura supposedly go against the condition of all APC, newly elected APC members of parliament should not go to parliament. I think he went. And I think since then, he's had some ups and downs with the party. So now he's talking about quitting the APC party. I understand, say they are going to get some kind of regulations then, the parties then, where they talk, say, if you left the party, you get for left parliament because you come in under the party, you know. So, so we get some interesting, there's a lot for unpack in that. Whether then rules, then they, now practical rules, now fair rules, them, if you go in, because you see, dovetailing with that is that you're not going to parliament just under a party symbol. You went to parliament as a result of people voting for you. Since we cannot differentiate between whether or not the party symbol make you go in parliament or make you win, or whether or not your personality and your reputation, regardless of the political party, or as a combination of the political party symbol, your personality, your accomplishment in life, maybe your wealth, all around they combine, they make you go to parliament, but you go to parliament under one particular party. Now, when you get policy disagreements, then say, well, and you have to be expelled from the party. If you left parliament, you should not, well, first of all, if you left the party, you cannot serve in parliament. Is that a reasonable law or rule? Or should something like that be looked into and say something is not right? Since you are elected by the people, shouldn't it be just the people who should have the power to vote you out, say by not voting you the next time? So we don't know. But these are all topic of discussions. Unlike in my line of work, they say reasonable men can differ. So some people might say nothing wrong with the rule. If you come in under the party symbol, then you decide for abandon the party, then the party forget someone for take your place in parliament. So, but I don't know how that can work without a by-election. Since to go into parliament, you forget some type of election from outside, and the government will control that. So it's very interwoven. So we need for just discuss that. So with that said, I want to go back to Mr. Jamboria and see which is your own take on that, on all the intricacies, you know, and the implications of this policy of if you left the party, you should have no place in parliament if you had already been elected as a parliamentarian. So, Mr. Jamboria, I go back to you. So feel free for take this issue in any direction or from any position.
Game changer, the way President Bill used for campaign for let saloon people and get a mandate for the second term. With the things that now they happen with the feed salon and other things there, you feel say the feed salon go able for solve the problem of hardship now the country, especially with campaigning for it.
Let me tell you this, Khadija. The unfortunate part of Sierra Leone politicians is when they kind of power that they look for a second term. But that side they will get for candy. But if we fortunate for lead this country, now one time I go for.
You still get plans?
Of course, I will reach that side. Now I get more plans, and I don't get the maturity. Now I'm able for put things together. For
you feel say you stand a chance.
I leave that to the people.
So from your
because
party,
perspective,
you stand a chance.
I stand a chance to become a president of this country.
The way you don't come out, Mr. Bangura, the way you don't come out from one party to another, you don't even go to the point of.
And then they go back to another party.
They left the APC?
Of course. But that's how they would reach it.
All right. The way you don't come out from one party to another, now you just don't confirm, say, you they left the All People's Congress, we give you symbol, we make you down a parliament. Why you feel say Salon people have for trust you with the highest position of being a president?
I will tell you, my dear. You are in the best position for access we people like me tomorrow. Because we don't date in a thick and thin.
Is that it?
I think that's it. If I can come in now.
Yes, sir.
I don't think it's an issue of controversy, Mr. Shyllon. When Mohammed Bangura leaves the APC, he has to leave Parliament. When I get Parliament, they say, we Chief Belfuli, they make law, then the law go catch and way, so but not so.
Yeah.
Go and read the electoral law. They created it. The person can challenge such rules if he is voted on a constituency basis. All the present parliamentarians were voted on a so-called proportional representation basis. So they were voted for on behalf of their political parties, not the electorate. And as a matter of fact, the proportional representation has been badly used. Now he's going to slap them in the face. When he left the APC, because he's representing APC, not his constituency, he has to leave the seat. Short and simple.
May I interrupt you, Mr. Jamboria?
Yes, sir.
If a political party puts you, of course, a constituency has a mixture of different supporters, some of whom are not your supporter as a member of parliament, but they are within your constituency. So if you are elected into parliament, do you represent the ones then we know elect you, want to vote for you, or you don't?
Provided you are elected on a constituency to constituency basis. The last election was not on a constituency to constituency basis. It was on a percentage of voters voting for a political party that determine how many seats each political party will get per district or per region or whatever. So they were elected on behalf of the party, not representing constituencies. If you leave the party, then you have to leave the seat. This is the side effect of going to implement things people don't understand. I live in a country where proportional representation is used. I've been elected twice on that system in Norway. I know how it operates. I'm elected on behalf of the party. If I leave the party, I have to be nullified. And of course, due processes have to be instituted by elections, etc., etc. Otherwise, if I'm not the principal candidate representing the party, when I leave the party, then it's just like that. Nobody cares. If I'm representing the party in any committee or whatever, that position automatically is declared vacant. People go and implement things or pass laws they don't understand.
Yeah.
So if Mohammed Bangura left APC now, if we're left in seat, when we go back to constituency elections, then we may have a case to argue. But as it is now, the mode on which every parliamentarian has been elected in Sierra Leone, if they leave their party, they have to leave the seat. It no matter whether an APC or SLPP or whoever. The man they set trap say, let the trap catch in company, man. If I make sure say no pass me outside the trap there. That's all I would say.
All right. Yeah. So, from my standpoint, I think that brings into question, like what Mr. Jamboria say, sometimes with the pass law, with the copy, we not get a full understanding of which in we try for implement. Because the distinction between proportional representation and constituency representation, I don't think they argue the pros and cons and the benefits. They not do the analysis before they just make that the law. Because it will seem to me a fairer way, and this is just my opinion. Someone even asked a question, say, do you think it is unconstitutional to remove Mr. Bangura? Forget the person say, forget the law that Parliament passed. Can this law be challenged at the High Court? Well, you can't forget the law because the law is the law, no matter how unfair it may be, that's the law. So we can't forget it. Now, the second part to that question, can it be challenged at the High Court? Yes, it can, because you just have to have a very good, able, well-prepared constitutional lawyer who can go into court and attack the statute to create that law or the act. We say you for if you can a parliament and you resign the position, the party will bring you there, then you for also lost your seat in the parliament. So that can be argued, that can be disagreed with. That's why we have Naime will forget a well-constituted court, a court where will resolve them controversies there. But let me not keep people in holding. Let me just keep the thoughts alive. Let me take at least one or two calls. Hello, caller. What's your name? What's the call from?
Good evening. This is Furi Mustafa again from Leicester. Thank you very much.
Hello, Mr. Mustafa. Welcome. Thanks.
Yes. Yesterday I never got through Mr. Jamboria and Mr. Abdul Karim yesterday because I don't know the line was busy or whatever. But I be like the response way you give Mr. Jamboria, because everybody just want to talk about the problems, but me, as I always say, we focus on the solutions because we're already in this situation. So, Lofen, I like that the way you make the way you try for someone up yesterday. And if we come to Dr. Abdullah Conteh, me, I don't get much for say because whatever it is, the politics will be they happen that time, now it still happen today. But the only thing that we different today we get more information and we get more social media for expose the things the way bad they happen. But if you know for day, we for still the day on those days, the activity that happened today, when they accuse this person, they hold arm, they get and go, detain them, they count and back, they left arm, or they accuse her for such crimes. Them look what happened with this school. Would I mean see the evidence them of the people who they don't convict? No, now the people that just can't talk. So oh, this person this, this person this, this person this, this person this, and at the end they don't convict them all. So I think to me, no, we'll leave that one there for another. Somebody. It's going to continue as long as the power they now the presidency it get for continue until we pull the power from the presidency or most of the powers from the presidency. And when you come to Mohamed Bangura, I call purposely to make a remind you now because Mohamed Bangura, if you don't make 2 appearances on TV and on radio, democracy again. A good day, if we talk about motoka or wealth or power politics, now he tell Mabel, say Mabel, you want to tell me say after I become a minister, so what will you tell me be minister of I think information? So after this position, let me go compete again for the take for the Apoda or Keke. Now the same one get for toxic, now man become a minister. So now he make minister they do things for get a higher status after office. These were words from Mohamed Bangura. And he talk about that thing. He say, politician and he talk say, the people. He say, but not lie. The first person will come first that the politician in mind, not himself. Mohamed Bangura said it. So let people not doubt. If you come here, you go yonder, he didn't have the APC, he support the SLPP or they mingle with them. He don't talk from him. Now, the problem I guess with Sierra Leone is the press not able can play again the message we say before for me to know who you are. Mohamed Bangura said these words. He say politician only care now he can force, he care about himself. And politician go in office for he make sure we commodity, he go make sure he get good status in society and get money. This na him Mohamed Bangura say. So let nobody no surprise. If you dey under today, they under or I they behave when they say that they play shenanigans and political party them. This is what he said, and this is exactly what he said. Now, post what they do, what they preach. Now, very honest politician. Now, make you always go get problem. Now, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mustafa. Thanks a lot. We appreciate your observation. Let me take one more call, then we'll go do the analysis or follow up. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you call from?
Yeah, Mr. Shyllon and me again. That the constitution says if you left party, you can member of parliament, therefore remove you. And that the constitution says. Even constituency or proportional, and that the constitution says. It's clear. But it has never been happened. It never happened as a law. For history, I remember when Charles Magai, this is some call. Charles Magai the right, they remove this is some call.
Huh? Yeah. What time?
I'm getting last one. Okay. They say they remove legacy and call, but unfortunately, legacy and call was never removed. Again, we come to we'll come back to APC took over. APC took over. APC was in power. This what's on the beginning? SLPP began issue. SLPP began major issue with their leadership. they write letter precisely a series of letters. Progress program with Dr. Banane Lahad. So that's what it landed on. Nothing happened. And in the last parliament, remember this for boy, MRC, they had problem with his party in favor of the ruling party. They tried for removal and the right, all letter. It was not removed because it was supporting the ruling party. Because the way the doctor of the constitution says, when the party write the letter, the only person who will take action is the speaker. And unfortunately, the speaker of parliament, since we don't change out, they don't know to somebody neutral. Because the constitution is neutral and doctor. The speaker of parliament should be a neutral person. So when they do this letter, and the speaker will take action in a neutral somebody, and for removal because the power. But now, with speakers and political leaders, like right now, SLPP. So even Mr. Bangura left today, publicly, if that letter goes to the speaker will play with that until this life of parliament done. So no long waste time on this. It's not that. It's not going to happen. And that's the constitution says. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to take effect because there's history to that. It has happened under parliament. It has happened under APC parliament where SLPP right, but Dr. Banazaya and others. It don't happen even this parliament, the fifth parliament, Abbas would not remove MRC. So Mr. Mangura left today, say Singapore will not going to remove him. So don't waste our time. That's why the constitution says nobody is going to take action. Yeah? That's just along this.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I will get one or two questions for ask you, but let me move on. I don't want people in for hold on too long. Let me take at least one more call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's side you call from?
Hello, viewers. This is Omar the call.
Hello, Mr. Omar. Thanks for calling.
You see, people they forget how Mohammed Bangura can na APC. You see, one thing where the political parties and lack na principle. One, you go for set the bar that anybody who is come into the party, you go for end for respect the party in law. But they don't left the thing so open that they get political parties, politicians with no ambition, they float the system. And we see again, no more what happen, can the Yumkela again so relevant to make we see it happen, people and concentrate on her. But the same thing we can the Yumkela do. Now the same thing, almost the same thing my Bangura do for election, where he stand down the entire political party for Anes by Kroma and end up for join the party. So now the same thing will happen, and the same thing again happens so with Kande Yumkela. But when more, it depends on the people who that they do them. So Kande Yumkela and now a very popular somebody, that much in relevance like how Mamek Bangura did. Because Mamek Bangura me na ma with alala, but me an office a politician person for and that's about. But again, now we come again. The last caller talk about MRC. You see, MRC in your way up na parliament, na bad politics. And I don't think anybody go mention that. And we'll not for take that as precedent. And that's make we go for Siam. One thing, when you divide for power, the party and in the use symbol, even though that the people they elect you, but now when you don't qualify at the party, make it they get the opportunity for go present yourself before the people. So if you don't rebel against the party, So if the party pull it, then technically you don't lose your presentation, the people in presentation. So what they for do, they go for find a way that let them go into by-election, the people they elect, not for select, but they elect again who that go for represent them. And the other caller talk again about something where he talk say Mame Bangura talk na about say you know one come out na power I can ride keke. Yes, who that one come on na power I can make the ride keke. It depends on how you earn the salary. If you don't save your money, but if that man at tailor, he left a go turn designer, you expect again for let a can begin to go bola for tailor? No, it look far from tailor. It don't be a fashion designer. It want again for elevate himself. So in no one for that position where it be done there 10 years ago. So I think say my Bangura for make it talk say no one can ride illegitimate. It depends on how he want do am. And his salary he want manage that go ride again all na the people he want can do that. It not be explain that. So I feel say illegitimate for them Bangura get the ambition say one come on a power can ride keke. And if you come on a power can ride keke, if you go and when I order the person I go laugh am. So I feel say illegitimate. But anyway, the political parties them, they get for set the bar high that they no go get some sorry for the language, some useless politicians, the way they float the system, try to take advantage of the system. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Umar. Let me go to Mr. Jamboria. Then I go say what you mean get for say. But Mr. Jamboria, to you, sir.
Sir. Mohammed Bangura is an unknown factor made known after the war. Wherever he come out from, however he can surface in Sierra Leone, I don't know, because I had left Sierra Leone when people like him surfaced. I left Sierra Leone on the 2nd of June 1998. But from the way that guy did talk and behave from a distance, I don't see him as a politician. And I don't believe he understands what his roles are vis-a-vis what he's doing now in the public space. People think it's honesty that he's demonstrating. No, not honesty. The man just don't know what he did it for. And the only motive and maybe vision where he gets, now how much he can hustle and make from politics. These are the people who were made relevant using the so-called local content assistance or whatever. And these are the people causing damage to our politics today. Politics, that's an issue of almost education you get. It's an issue of how you understand the ideology where you want to lead yourself into politics with. And as a matter of fact, Mohammed Bangura may be the worst case or one of the worst cases of lack of ideology and lack of mission where they make with politics they the way they. And this is found across the board in all political parties. One of the things we all say Leon backward today, now because we political parties them, maybe in the 60s, there was a little sense of ideology that this party stands for this, and that is what it goes to do, and that's why people join them. Like, for example, you always say you have been active with the APC when you were going to school. I am sure what attracted you to the APC was the ideology they were preaching. They told you we are for the people. Not so.
Yes. Yes.
We work for the people, for the general interest of the people. And I'm sure That was what was the reason behind the creation of the All People's Congress Party. Because the SLPP, one of the things will make people learn left arm and will later result in the All People's Congress was that when the SLPP took power, or when they were brought into practicing governance before independence from 1953 up to 1960, the SLPP created an ideology of elitism for itself. The SLPP created an ideology of exclusive vision. We're not being convenient for the masses or the majority of the people. Maybe later this transform and translate into ethnicity and then kind of thing. But it started with the elitist ideology. If we go back and research, we go see, say, even from the time when they do the Protectorate Assembly, after the 1924 Constitution, we allow people in the Protectorate for begin practice politics. This elitist philosophy, then been already introduced them. Because the Protectorate Assembly was basically for paramount chiefs. Anybody who they go there, we not to from a ruling house, you are there on as a proxy to a paramount chief. That was what the SLPP took as its own vision and ideology. And because some people not be agree with them, like Shaka Stevens, Sori Ibrahim Kuroma and others who were originally SLPP, SI Kuroma was originally SLPP when he was working at Boye, SLPMB. A few people know that. He worked for the cooperative in Boye, and he was SLPP. Shaka Stevens was even Minister of Lands, Mines and Labor under the SLPP. The ideology with the SLPP been form itself with and take shape with, now I push from them people and then come from the APC say no, who they for the one them, we not Boye Jallo, Social Democrats. And I'm sure Mohammed Bangura does not know that. So he has to tell us what is the ideology he understands about the APC and why he's in the APC. And if that is the reason why he's in the APC as a social democrat, why should he be thinking of leaving the APC? A lot of things don't go wrong now with society. A lot of things don't go wrong now with society. And the politics we'll get now today, not a politics of ideology, not politics of hustle. All man, they go hustle. I mean, not see the money or they salute and they go hustle. IMF money, European Union money, that money than they. These are the things we have to be looking at. So if a man like Mohammed Bangura is saying what he's saying, for us who know, I just say, well, leave that man. He's saying what he does not understand. He's not relevant. And we have a lot of them in all the political parties. Honestly, that's as much as I can say, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jamboria. Well, before I go further, you talk about the SLPP and then start the elitist practice and philosophy. You want to elaborate on that a little bit before we
Yes,
get to a better
and when you
understanding
look the history, the history of the SLPP, now 3 different movements come together. And all the 3 movements here, now elitist movements. The educated class in the protectorate were basically were descendants of paramount chiefs, which they now see as the Boye School gang. You had the corner progressive something joining them. Then with the group where Eteldred Jones, we later changed the name to Lamina Sanko, been come with. Then 3 groups here we come together. They were all elitist groups. They were members in the society who have had Western education, we get Western outlook, and we believe, say, That's the way we have to go. But again, they sought to, or they thought about combining it with the traditional governance system. And with traditional governance system, it's autocratic, mystically autocratic. So this is what we need to understand about our political parties. People who have been joining them, when have been feel convenient with these class and status distinctions, they felt they had to go. Albert Magai came from a ruling house, but he had a radical outlook at some point. He felt he was not convenient with that. He left along with Shaka Stevens. Then come from PNP. But again, then two Noibu Sidon one inside one pala. Then scatter. Albert went back to SLPP. Stevens went along and joined other people them with them start the APC. And the APC from that point of its formation in 1960 took a kind of social democratic outlook, but it was at that time seen as a socialist party. Yeah, maybe the difference between socialism and social democracy not too far. Because even in America today, we see people pointing fingers at Bernie Sanders. That is a socialist. He is not. He's a social democrat. In Scandinavia, we have social democracy. If you come to Scandinavia, you have been used to capitalism. You go, the first impression where you go get is that this place is a communist place. It's not. You understand? These are the basic principles where the present breed of politicians not understand, Mr. Shyllon. I challenge them. They don't. They don't. The present breed of politicians in Sierra Leone is all about going into politics to hustle and make money. It's not about ideology. They don't even understand what an ideology is, because our political parties have become social clubs where people gather to win elections, not places where people can develop a sense of how do we use our vision to build the nation. And this is one of the problems we have in our governance systems, what they make with governments and not they do much. It's only about themselves, because all of them are hustlers. Yes, all over the world, politicians are hustlers. But where there is a structure, where there is an ideology, the ideology always supersedes the personal interest. Everybody, they go into politics for make money. It's an easy way to make money. But where there is a controlling ideology, normally trust is put before personal interest. Like in Norway, every politician gets a good life. After politics, they are assured of a good life. But they will not go down to do corrupt things that our politicians do in Africa, because the ideology of the state will not allow that. If you attempt it, you are disgraced. Recently, the justice minister in Norway, a lady, and discover say a master's degree we claim say get, not a real master's. She was sacked. She lost a lot of things for that. In Sierra Leone, you can have a banana tree degree, nobody cares. Because we not get national ideology, we not get political ideology, we not get nothing. We only get hustle. Go hustle. Sangai Joe, now they will get nas alone. So I'm not surprised when people like Mohammed Bangura talk. A man cannot think beyond what he understands. That's as much as I can say, sir.
All right. Yeah, I don't know much about Mohammed Bangura. So I'm in no way, shape, or form able to do an analysis of him. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing is what he looks like for the first time today on we show. But he seemed to be a very brazen, direct, straight to the point, kind of young man, and Mr. Fodi Mustafa described him as a truthful politician. Arguably, he may be. So sometimes what people they talk about, because I seen that the interview with the news people, with the two ladies them, I think they say if he left one party, it can APC, now they plan for left APC. Can someone
PDP sobe.
Okay, so the other party will be then a Sobe. Okay. All right. 'Cause I was going to ask what party that was. Then there is another person we call, we say the way I know I agree with the phrase where you say it's a waste of time because the law is what it is. See, nothing is a waste of time. Like, I would just take that phrase there, for example. Once upon a time, it will have been a waste of time for those who opposed slavery not to fight against it, because that was the law at the time in most of this Western Hemisphere. So people could have said, well, that's the law. Black people are pieces of properties. So it's a waste of time. Don't fight it. The Black Americans will have said it's a waste of time for Jim Crow, discrimination laws them, because those are part of the law at the time. You know, black man, it was a crime for a black person for marriage. They get a case called Lovin v. Virginia versus Virginia. Okay? Where Mr. Lovin was the man's name. He married a black woman. Or the state of Virginia say he can't do that because it's against the law for white man for married black person or black person for married white person. The law then was on the books, but he felt there was something wrong about that and that he had to challenge the law. He can't just roll over and play dead. So he fetching case all the way to the Supreme Court. Lost na lower courts them, but when you get a duly constructed or constructive legal system, there's always hope that changes will come. Okay? And so when people use the phrase, it's a waste of time, I think they need to reconsider denting in it, because it's like, you can challenge that phrase in so many ways. When automobiles were not created, when airlines were not invented, and we get to remember saying another person in thoughts, in unwillingness for accept the status quo, in unwillingness for say things cannot be the way they have to change. So the person who make motoka could have said, it's a waste of time. We don't need to prepare and walk by foot, ride donkey. So you can't, you do anything. So we offer the walk by foot. And then when we get motoka, what would you use? Other people could have said, it's a waste of time for things say you could fly like a bird. It's not possible. It's a waste of time. So we have to be very careful. Nothing is a waste of time when it comes to improving human lives, the quality of existence. Let us not forget to say, whatever is imagined by the mind can be brought into reality. What you would enjoy today, now the imagination of other people will become reality. No matter what, air conditioner, food we eat, or a lot of stuff. So I caution the gentleman we call, who is a regular caller of ours, and I greatly appreciate in contribution. But it's not a waste of time when a law is a bad law for fight against the law. You know, now we don't say what's not the problem, just like Mr. Fode Mustafa from Leicester call and say, we laws in Sierra Leone are terrible. And these are some of the reasons why
Well,
with the question.
Mr. Shyllon, who created these laws? Especially the law we are referring to now that is going to affect him if he moves from the APC. Mohammed Bangura was part of the team that created the law.
Precisely.
It's a reflection of a bad electoral law that was passed before the 2023 elections. So in as much as we wouldn't say it's a waste of time attempting to change the law, but it's a waste of time attempting to sympathize with Mohammed Bangura if he's kicked out of the APC and he loses his seat.
Oh yeah.
It's a waste of time. I don't hold sympathy for people who don't use their brain. If you think you are doing this because you are secured or maybe something is coming to you, the law catch up with you, I think I have sympathy for you. It's what I am. Even with my children. If I say don't do this, they do it and they get caught up with something, they come to me and say, I don't care. I told you not to do it. Go and learn your lessons and do better next time. It's not a waste of time to attempt to tell them, revert back to constituency, let's have sanity. But it's a waste of time attempting to justify Mohammed Bangura's claims to go to court. He cannot go to court. He was part of the people who created that law. Tim bear the brunt of his actions.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that, except for the fact that when we make laws, unfortunately, laws then get unintended consequences. And so since laws are made
and he's suffering from it now. Yeah. He's suffering from it now. So let him learn from his idiocy.
I agree with you. I don't disagree at all. But let me take a call or two. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side you call from?
Yes, Nami again, for Mustafa. I just want to qualify my statement because it looks like me brother misunderstand why I talk to Mohammed Bangura, an honest man, an honest politician. I mean, say, if what's kind of politics, he talks say he can make money and he practice that act today, that means he is actually being honest. Not to say in nature, Mohammed Bangura na honest person, no. But in the way he come out the PMDC, first he come out PDP, he come PMDC, he come out he form own platform UDM. He come to APC. Now when they tell us, say, oh man, not going to parliament. See, me, they don't elect me. I get for go make, I lose my salary. I go to parliament. So you don't do again what he say. You can't apologize. You can't drag. So this is what I meant. I don't mean say the man in an honest person in nature, but a person will be say he make it quite clear why he didn't politics. He can't into politics. So now he do and now he tell we. So now I mean many people are not beginning to feel say me I talk to Mohammed Bangura an honest person. He actions them. Now really what he tell me say he can't into politics. What he can't into politics for. Now he do now he make it run from here, he go here and that wait until and say do this, he always they put interest before Mohammed Bangura. Now he make it the same. He talks say get good relationship with the SLPP because he one day in the middle so that if Yanda fail, he go in the back. Reason why you know even just go SLPP or he talk because you know see if you go and never go encourage them because of the actions that we don't do in the past. So now I mean say na honest politician so he can't for contract and now he pursue today. Why not resign if they don't agree with the APC things there? Because you know they follow what they say. But you know they resign because they get for lose salary where they pay and allowances their money every month. So he get for take for another 4 years. So he will not resign until then throw him come on from the party. Now that I just mean not qualify. Maybe I don't think say the man is an honest man or the best politician. No, thank you again.
Yeah. Well, I get Mr. Fure Musa's point. I think that's what one might refer to as an oxymoron. It's like when you say, the man a good bad man. you know, you say, how can he be good and bad at the same
Well,
time? So when you say,
well, you
you
got
say,
the point now.
no, I get it. So when you say he's an honest politician, by nature, politicians are not honest
Not
people.
that about being dishonest.
Yeah, exactly. He's honest about being dishonest. You're right. So it's quite an interesting observation, you know. And so the thing is, in fact, as Mr. Jamboria was talking about, we talk about the elitist philosophy from upcountry. We talk about children of chiefs. Let me stop right here because I broke me own philosophy. I don't like for keep people on hold too long. Let me take. I forget there were one or two callers on the line. Let me take at least one more call. Hello, caller. What's your name and where side you call from?
Good afternoon, Mr. Shyllon and Mr. Jallo Jamboria. This is Abdul call from Maryland.
Mr. Abdul, welcome.
Yeah. So, I just want button in the discussion about Mohammed Bangura. There is a saying that there is immorality in politics, and that mantra is synonymous of Sierra Leone politicians. We find out say them bereft of policies, morally bankrupt, and the interest na self-aggrandizement. We don't see we are in here out before the inception of multi-party democracy in 1996. Even before that, we don't see that. And Mohammed Bangura, I think there is no exception to that. But like what the previous speaker say, Mohammed Bangura, now the type where we call sugar ange. He always is friend who say sweetness, and he don't spell out rightly that he enter politics for enrich himself and his family. For me, join PDP MDC. We know it's in transfer between Charles Magai before the 2012 election. He left PMDC forming party, and he later joined the APC. Then catapult him into positions of trust. He acquire. Then you see now the same thing. But there is a caveat on the recent APC constitution. We say you not get for expel a member of the party except you get a national delegate. So now order for belly cat. And then according to them, the next national delegate conference perhaps will take place in the next 3 years. You know, say formally in the old constitution, then we term this utterances and the actions as anti-party activity. But they're not go able for expel now from the party because they don't do the mistake during Samsumana and kind of Bangura they own them during the old APC constitution. So no one replicates the same mistake where they don't make again. So now that make Mohammed Bangura, you know what he math. If we can say we blame I man say the stone you don't master the stone. And no say nothing will come out of that. Even if the party want to take draconian measures against some law say the NAC, the APC NAC, the highest body of the party or the executive, they want to take action against them. And no say you get the full support of the Speaker of Parliament. They're not going able. Then go rigmarole that, then go stop that, then go block that. So I feel to say that as a young politician, na personal aggrandizement make them they go join. And if I can just talk something about my namesake, late Dr. Abdullah Conteh, somebody who I get enormous respect for, as I may talk yesterday in the program. Somebody who I always look to as a role model, especially 1980 when we used the OE conference. I mean, always they aspire for going to the foreign service. But as God not me plan that for me, I go into the teaching field. Now, having said that, I believe say Abdullah Conteh in legacy will be of mix. It's positive and negative. Some school of thought will say he was an intellectual, well-educated, intelligent, he was a witty, so on and so forth. Then get another school of thought. We go look at the role we play, especially during the alleged coup of GMT Kaikai and the 17 others, where Francis Miller, then was then the vice president, may involve in the role we play, leading to Mina in conviction and eventual death. You get another school of thought, we go to see and say it was a bad person, or some go see and say a demon, and they don't envy Mina in position. Now I make a vigorously go after him for let Mina go incriminate Mina at the coup, the alleged coup, the 1987 coup. So I think that mixed bag there, and it go get for on time. No, not say go on time. We go get for the talk about that for the next 20, 30, 40 years. We'll get for the talk about that. Say in a legacy, now a mix from the two schools of thought. One go to see and say yes, he was an intellectual. Somebody go see and say he was well educated, and he was witty, intelligent. Another school of thought go look at in that bad light. They say he play a role because during the Mohammed Soifona then I think at that time he just joined the civil service where he did a law officers department in the early 70s. After he don't get his doctorate at Cambridge. At that time they joined. So he can meet up the as a young prosecutor then at the law. So now then two things and they me feel say we go remember for. But be that as it may, me I always get high respect for him, and we see the role we play not only in Sierra Leone and the Caribbean. You be Chief Justice of Belize, Bahamas, you be Justice Day, Cayman Islands. So we see he play a great role internationally. It make Sierra Leone proud. We go see him in that light to say yes, that's a good aspect or good legacy where he left not only for Sierra Leone but for the world over. So I'll go stop so far. Thank you very much.
You are muted, Mr. Shyllon.
I appreciate the legacy of Mr. Afode in Abdul in comments about Dr. Abdullah Conteh. We all grew up having role model and wanting to be like certain people, or then set the pace for want to aspire. Okay, and we all may have different definition or varying definition of legacy, but I have always taken the position that I make early comment. I talk about, because for those of us who are down there, legacy, society doesn't take too much into account which in legacy, because we know the impact so many people, their lives. Unless you're a philanthropist, or a do-gooder, or something of that type. But even that, when we talk about legacy, whether you're a philanthropist or whether in your private life, Now, how you impact the lives of others would generally refer to the word legacy. That doesn't precisely capsulize the meaning of legacy, but I want to will be able to distinguish between academic achievements, because there are so many, thousands and thousands of Sierra Leoneans. Dr. Joko Smart just died, I think maybe 1 or 2 weeks, or maybe 3 weeks before Dr. Abdullah Conteh. He was an esteemed professor, an esteemed legal scholar in Sierra Leone. Okay? So, but we get for, even when you talk in terms of Dr. Joko Smart and Abdullah Conteh, Dr. Joko Smart did not have as much impact on the lives of people as Abdullah Conteh beget on others. So it's how, when you get an opportunity for impact people in lives, what did you do? How did you do it? And waiting, we'll go sit down and talk about you about, for say, we are going through hardship because of you, or we are going through this success, or this privilege, or this opportunity, or this pleasure, enjoyment because of you. That's what I consider legacy for me. You don't necessarily have to serve in government position, but you have to have positions that enable you to impact people in their lives. And when you reach that position there, I mean, it's just like if you're a rich man, extremely rich man. Okay, I had an uncle, maybe a lot of one knew about it, and he was a blood uncle, by the name of Usman Thomas of Aberdeen. In the 60s, arguably, he had money than Jamil Said, Bailo Barry. They were all diamond dealers in Akono. Extremely rich. He was a low-profile kind of guy. Some people knew about him. He was a very successful diamond dealer in Akono. He owned businesses. He was one of the first people in Australia, maybe the first, to diversify in wealth. He opened mattress factory. He opened glass factory. He opened salt factory. Those were the days when Sierra Leoneans don't think in those terms. He opened automobile dealership, Fatmata Motors, now Wilkinson Road. He had over 100 or more houses in the western area. Okay? That was my uncle. And I said my uncle, I'm a blood uncle. Blood uncle in the sense that in your papa, and my mama and papa, well, first of all, in my mama and a first cousin. Then become first cousin, become my mama and papa, and Usman Thomas and papa were brothers of the same mother. So let me use him as an example, because I'm in blood uncle one day. In the 60s, he was untouchable in terms of wealth. The good thing about the man, he was not corrupt. He had afraid for getting into trouble. He followed the law. Okay? He never did promote corruption. He did everything mostly right in terms of following the law. In Kono, I mean, there was nobody who had more money than he, and he was during the time of the Hene Shamel, Jamil Said, Bailo Barry. He was a top gun. The Aberdeen way, born and grow, asked people then, what did he do for the community? With all that money they were to describe. He was a millionaire when it was not fashionable to become a millionaire. In the 60s, this man had millions, and gave no scholarships, did not open a public library, try for educate the poor, and on and on and on. So somebody like that, you can say, what's in a legacy? He was not a bad man. And just in your mind, not run that way there. Even when he was a millionaire, if you go see him, you're lucky. You're lucky if he gives you Yes.
You are leading this discussion into our social psychology.
Okay.
If we want to ask about legacy, Sierra Leoneans don't leave legacies because we are egocentric and selfish.
I want to
Short and
agree.
simple. We now not begin blame few people. I not care which office the person hold. I not care how I be in a society. Because we mentality not they say, let me build for generations yet unborn. And as a matter of fact, this is one of the critical sides them who will not they pay attention to. We make 63 years after independence, a country with so much resources, the people then are walking dead. When you go to Sierra Leone today, the people are walking dead. Because we mentality, not get them, say, we for do for posterity. Okay. You don't bring your own blood relative into the focus. Yes, he opened factories. I knew about those factories. But because he was not thinking posterity, after he had been dead and gone, the factories then they're not there again. And it creates the structures and institutional capacity. Legacy, now I make when they talk about legacy, I talk and say, not to almost owe you left, almost to carry buy. Me when they talk, so I come up from a family who been get properties, but there was not the socio-psychological structure for me to maintain them properties then they. So it left us, the second and third generation, as mere hustlers again. This one fault in our society. Rather than we begin pick people them, they point out, let's look at the society as a whole and see what you go do about changing this mentality. I'll give you a case in point, sir. If Sierra Leoneans had a collective mentality, if we had a posterity mentality, even us in the diaspora, we would decide, say, okay, let's invest $100 every month in stocks and bonds. We'll buy shares and use that money, we'll direct how for use and for develop Sierra Leone. How we doing it? No. People will prefer to give $5,000 to politicians, $10,000 to politicians who come for so-called town hall meetings. They don't go for village buffer talk. They come to America and Europe for town hall meetings to gather money. They will give them those monies rather than putting it into the country. Why are they doing it? With the expectation that when the politician get power, he go call them, give them office. And when they give the office, what thing then they go do? Now they see so. It happened under the Ernest Goma regime. It is happening now big time. A greater percentage of all the damages being done are by people in the diaspora who gave those monies and who are now in Sierra Leone. We therefore begin faced with realities. We therefore begin understand with realities. It has been and it will always be if we don't face the bull by the horn and take it. Our social psychology is part of our development challenges, and we have to look at it critically and find solutions for make it change. And I don't know if we'll get time because we'll get one more issue for discuss about this taxation and pressure on Africans.
I think we're going to run out of that. We might as well just stretch the because that's a very important topic. We might as well just stretch the legacy discussion for round up the time on the legacy
Yeah, because
issue.
what you make a mention, the legacy discussion even fit into that discussion day.
Yeah,
We see on the cry, say IMF, they overtax we countries them. On a continent that holds 45% of the natural resources of the earth. On a continent with the youngest population on earth. On a continent where you have most of the young, able-bodied and educated out in the diaspora. Most of them earning basic minimum wages, who will not think about how can we collectively make our country, but instead they will go and build houses, create erosion in Freetown, then they say, I don't do better thing. It's not first of most of the houses up the hill zones, whether in the forest, the city of Freetown, they are owned by people in the diaspora. So instead of would they blame, ask, what in our own contribution to this overtaxing? And the governments, them were they in power, why shouldn't they sit and look and say, oh, rather than we tax our people more, let us revisit our contracts we gave out to people who come to take our natural resources. Botswana is getting 50% of the profit of diamonds mined in Botswana. MEF no did they? They don't need them. Nigeria has been mining petroleum since 1958. Nigeria started mining oil in 1958. The year Norway decided that we are not ready to mine our oil, we will invest in our human resources and build it up so that we will have the capacity to mine the oil. 1969, Norway started mining oil. By 1990, Norway said, oh, we're having too much money, but this oil will be expired soon, so let us have a sovereign fund. Everybody agreed on it. So they know he has the biggest sovereign fund on earth. It's the way we think, Mr. Shyllon. The suffering in Africa is created by the Africans, especially the elite class. We know they think legacy, they know they think posterity. Then they only think kapu kapu. That's why we have the culture of splashing money.
Spraying.
Yes. That tells a lot about the way we think. We don't think about posterity. If you think about posterity, you'll not be splashing money. You'll be looking at how to invest that money for sustainable growth and development. Now, with social psychology wrong, Mr. Shyllon. And another thing is, the African, the minute he gets small money, you see the dictator in the African. We get impunity, highest level. Who than are you? You know than are me? Impunity. And how they ask you who than are you? You know than are me? Make a head of state. They kill people without remorse. So let us begin to look at where we have our problems. Africa has enough to run itself. Rather than with the tax people them, we not even get the sense he make. You they pay man 500,000. One bag rest costs 800,000 going to 1 million. Then they go put tax back on the money. Where do you expect the person to get the money to pay the tax from? Then you allow mining companies forget free ride on our resources. Free ride. When there are even international laws protecting the resources of the country. The international law we say the permanent sovereignty over natural resources and the sanctity of contracts. They say the principle of permanent sovereignty over natural resources essentially advances the argument that resource-rich nations should have control over their natural resources. Such an exertion of control entails the following. 1, the right to freely dispose of the natural resources. 2, the right to explore and exploit the natural resources freely. 3, the right to use the natural resources for development. I'm not going to read all that because time they against we. Last one, the right to use the natural resources for development. Are we doing that in Africa? Let us ask. Are we doing that in Africa? Are we using our natural resources for development? Has any government in Africa made known to the citizens the percentage share they get from the mining companies that mine the natural resources? If they have not done so, why? Let us begin to ask these questions. Because until we begin to use our natural resources for development, we will always be going to IMF and those bodies to take loans. Except for profits, then they look for. Face the fact. I'm not overstretch this thing. If we get time, we can discuss our next time. I will come with documents for proof what they say.
All right. Okay. Let me just touch on something, Mr. Jamboria. Thank you. I do not want anybody to be left with the impression that what Mr. Jamboria say, we say collectively, just like when if we say white people are racist, there are white people that are not, who are not racist. When you say black man selfish, there are a lot of black people who are, or Africans are this. I mean, I want people to understand that it doesn't apply to everybody. There would be exceptions, because somebody just say, I disagree with Mr. Jamboria. There are Sierra Leoneans who live legacies, and we have individuals in Sierra Leone that are doing it and doing the work. It is true. In fact, I was going to get to that point. Because I want for left the misimpression. I use me uncle as an example because I will have liked the generations that will come up now. Now, the very Aberdeen day, when a small town, at the coast day, for no, and you read that name day and ask, who was this person? You know, why do we get a name? But that is beside the point. Now, I mean, in fairness, there are a lot of Sierra Leoneans. Let me start off with Mr. McRae. McRae, who was, I think, to my understanding, was a mechanic. But when people were going through hardship
at Boye Road,
yes, the man will make that wonderful contribution and expand PCM.
Kasha McRae, you're talking about. Let me soul rest in peace. It was by Pauna Street, Boye Road. There
we go. And invested in your personal wealth for extend certain part or annex and a PCMH hospital and for Boye Road Day and do good. Now, we know of so many other people, them in years gone by, there was the Mabank College was established by someone who had money and wanted to dedicate
Thomas. I don't know if it's Malama Thomas or what, but by one Mr. Thomas.
It could be the Malama Thomas them for dedicate that the Mabank College.
I think even relates to this uncle way they talk about. I think they have connection, those Thomases. But they were the Thomas way they talk them in the Malama Thomas Street area, I believe. I think it was a businessman doing business. We go build a Mabank College.
Exactly, and dedication and left hand for the public for agriculture. And then you get me on cousin again, going back to Aberdeen again. Maybe we get a lot of goodness in where we get a little fortunate in life. As a current gentleman, if you've never heard of him, by the name of Mohammed Tunde Cole, who built a $2 million
building
school of engineering, Nafrabe College, with all modern conveniences, $2 million. And which came from honest labor. He never hold government positions, so not to money where you might say he get. But so when we talk about legacy, now how you have with the building of the and besides what Tunde Cole do by building the $2 million and the building is called the Alhaji Mohammed Tunde Cole School of Engineering, Afrabe. He went to Edwards. Edwards go tell now all the wonderful things them, almost money, the hundreds of thousands of dollars we spend now Edwards. Now with local community, the people that know in Aberdeen what contributions is made on and on and on, you know. And so a man like that has left more than sufficient legacies from the high school where he go or from the schools the way he go. to the university where you attend, to the community where you grow. It's done for all. You know, countless number of people is sent to Hajj every year. Okay, so when we talk about legacy, and there are many other people, I hope if I left some names out, it's not because we not appreciate. So I want, but when Mr. Jamboria said
Shyllon,
collectively, when you say collectively, don't think that there is nobody in our communities then where they do that. Where not they do that. Where there
Mr.
are many,
Shyllon,
but there are not as many.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Shyllon,
Go ahead. Yeah.
please don't waste time. You know why? I am
Okay.
talking statistically.
No, I know, but they don't
And in
understand that. No, I
statistics,
know what you
there are
mean.
deviations from the mean.
But the
I'm not
ordinary man
saying
doesn't see it.
everybody, I say we mean social psychology.
Yeah,
And if
I
there
know
was a
what you mean.
majority of people, if there was enough for Conotri, Conotri is a tunnel man. Me not a tunnel man, I think in non-linear. If there was a majority of people in Africa thinking the way of these examples you have given, it would have been far, 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 far better in Africa than it
Not
is
even
today.
majority. If there were many, that would not even go as far as majority. Just many.
It would have been
Just
far, far,
many.
far, far better. So
Correct.
for justify things, now we look at the realities. What are theories are they talking about? Africa has 40 and more % of the resources of the world. Africa has the youngest population. I'll tell you one thing. In as much as Nigeria has lagged behind, but the young generation of Nigerian rich class, they are making so much input into Nigeria. Nigeria will transform itself into a developed power soon. And they make a lot of inputs into the economy by building structures where will be legacies for generations yet unborn. Then they create polytechnics. Then they create institutions where the young people who are unemployed, even though Nigeria gets this demographic crisis, then gets high population, but you find out, see, the number of young people where they grow into success cases today is greater than you have in most parts of West Africa. Because some of the rich people are putting money into them and guiding them into building themselves into successful business entrepreneurs. This we are not doing in Sierra Leone. And of course, the Nigerians, most of them don't go into oil business. Some way don't make wealth out of them. Then they invest in Nigeria. In Sierra Leone, most of the people all they mine gold and diamond where they invest back into Sierra Leone. Most. We have some of the largest gold deposits in West Africa. But how much of that is impacting our economy? Diamonds. We get a kind of stone nakono when I only Sierra Leone and the Fenam, they call it sky stone. It was discovered in 1990. It's a very expensive gemstone. How is that impacting Sierra Leone? And how many Sierra Leoneans even know about that stone? Sky stone. I challenge everybody for typeset that on Google and find out. You will see the information how they come up. This is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about those few who are doing the right things. I'm not here to compete. I'm here to educate. Say what you would do now make you stagnate. Low change them. Who don't know want change them? Please. Let we low tell the people that let them change them. I'm not here to compete. I'm not comparing. I'm here to educate. If you get 100 apples, one go rotten, that rotten one they cause trouble for the other apples. I think it's time we begin to think in Sierra Leone. Then now they make them here so idle we idle. We dey care for educate people. And now we educate ourselves why others are trying to educate us. Yeah, people yes who go to help the sick in villages. But is that a legacy? Lawyers. If I take a team from America, I'll go, then go do eye clinic, then turn back, 6-9 months down the line, that the same sickness will continue there. But if we get a permanent structure there, would they help the people them for research on the causes of the eye disease, then find a way for put her under control? That's a legacy. Oh, trips are not legacies. Let us begin to learn that. If na go trip, well for don't do them. It's time we begin to be consistent in the way we think. Sierra Leone is bigger than all of us. Therefore, they make a joke out of the country. You are muted, sir.
Very quickly, let me take a couple of calls. Thank you, Mr. Jamboria. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's the call from? And before you answer, caller, let me also just add, as I was sitting here listening to Mr. Jamboria, because I don't want people to think that was just to blow my own family on. I know I saw not too long ago a gentleman who reside in West, then get a foundation, then they Atlanta. They opened a modern school up na Bombali district in the McKinney area. I know the name na Jallo, but I don't remember the name of the foundation. I will try to get that because I want let people know say they are very good people in the country. You know, something na in the West. I think the wife named Kadi, something Kadi Jallo, the husband first name and the wife foundation. And they have, computers at the schools, you know, nice modern buildings. Every picking a way to go, they get full scholarship. They're not going to pay anything. So this now, I know say in Bombali district, you get, then before him, there was another gentleman 2 or 3 years ago, Dr. I think Roland, who also is from that area there in the Bombali district.
Roland Toure is still there.
Okay, instead of open.
There's somebody I talk to all the time. He gets projects for rural housing and other things, them community development.
So we want people to know that there are very good Sierra Leoneans who have decided to share their wealth and the opportunity and in contact with others. So I don't want to leave. And if when I know of any other names, let us know. But I talk about the legacy thing only in the sense that, you know, when we talk about legacy, for particularly when we talk about the Abdullah Conteh, we're not to talk about Mr. Weiss down the street, the good way. There are people like Abdullah Conteh and we'll be able to see some vivid evidence of the impact we make on the lives of people because of the power and the position we hold in the country. That's all. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's you call from?
Okay. Hello, viewers. This is Umaru, the call again.
Hello, Mr. Umaru. Welcome.
Yeah, at least, a lot of us to make a little bit sense now. We don't pocket them. We're in the economy of Sierra Leone. You see, we did get something wrong. Not that we not get these minerals, but the blessing we would get from these minerals is the misroad. The past government make an attempt for set office, for encourage diaspora for make them come back in Sierra Leone and invest. But the mistake we then do, then try to politicize the office. You know, they make the office within State House. And if you want to make the offices, then you get to make an independent office because Igual is survive where you party common a power or party come. So the time when they make a good intention, but the implementation been bad. And at that time we see the gentle, even when we see before the gentle, we know the kind of competition between the two main road construction company over in that country, the Senegalese company and the Chinese. So we see the agent to struggle for fit within the system, you know. Then one thing again where me be like but the whole Africa media, even though they get a lot of shady deals, illegal contracts they wouldn't sign, because for sign 99 years now, to me I look and say illegal, but them get a Sierra Leonean face when I be the late man. I feel that to therefore do we not say let people knock out. Now that America, now that China, they do everything. What make you see America they fight China, then get them shadow all the wars are all right now. Now that if they can't invest any company where they can with, if not a Sierra Leonean company for make sure say the Sierra Leoneans then get share day, if possible, they get highest shares day. So if anything happen, the country no go lost. But what thing we they do, we no get 10 and they will get people who just they can mine, then put even the train when they put now for transport raw material, no go even able to take past people from one place to another, then they rob the people from a development, then they endanger their life, they do mining, go now between Tongo and Panguma area. The NEPA mine Kimberley, they see them do underground. And this one that we don't do the contract during the time of the APC. You see, we don't say we don't want development, but let's go to talk. We see Sierra Leonean face. Just look to right. There are Sierra Leoneans, and one thing, not every Sierra Leoneans will get money for go invest, but Sierra Leoneans will get sababu. Now Europe, America, and other part of the world, all they need now encouragement. The platform, the platform in the sense now that the same way the government they take trust. The Lebanese and they give a huge amount of money, or the banks and they give a huge amount of money. They didn't try for encourage the diaspora. They want we don't can learn work. They want we sabi work. They want we not professionals. Whether not doctor, whether not this. Let them try for encourage us. If you can't help in business, the government will help you at least financially. They're not going to take money give you, but then go make them for you so easy that if not loan, it will be accessible to you that you go do what you do for let the country benefit. Let them make less Sierra Leone diasporas and no see. There are other things that we people will benefit from, other way for gentry as Sierra Leone rather than politics. But right now, the only option we open to Sierra Leoneans and Sierra Leone politics. And we get people, and we get, for instance, Mr. Shyllon asks, we get the Deputy Minister of Health too right now. Where did it right now? That man be get good office now, now what then I sit now. Outside na Asabia because na my neighbor. It make a very good work now. And in footprint then within Africa, not only Sierra Leone, we in terms of medical. Mr. Senesi, Dr. Senesi, Deputy Minister of Health too. In footprint all over Africa. You go to Rwanda by Yaxbar and Sabiam. Most of the Africa countries, and because why? It be the export in your expertise. Whether in terms of research or all that, we get Sierra Leoneans. Those people, they are not rich people. They don't get money, but they get the sababu, they get the means. What in the government for encourage them? We feel say the office where Ernest by Chroma been trying for open for diaspora. It been get a good intention, but they open in bad way. Let them try for that shift that office if it's still in existence. Let them put an upstate house. They make it independent. And let them show Sierra Leoneans there are a lot of other ways to make money rather than for us to go into politics. I feel so if we do that to go see way. And let them pass a law that any mining company where they go to that country, if it makes us get Sierra Leonean face and makes us Sierra Leone get at least a particular amount of share, they will be for safe. Anything happen, Sierra Leone go lost total one. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Umar. Unfortunately, you could say time passes fast when you're having fun. So we don't actually pass with 2-hour mark for the show, but we greatly appreciate it and we want to make sure say we listeners them get as much input as them possibly can. So with that, I'm going to say good night to the audience. Hope we'll go see and talk again next week. Now pass it over to Mr. Jamboria.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Famble them on a good night. As I say yesterday and as I say sometime this program. The reason for coming here is for us to understand our value. We need to understand we value. We need to understand we value. If we don't know value, forever and ever, we will be losers. You can't win in this life when you don't know your worth. The people of Sierra Leone need to know their worth. They need to put value to themselves. All this politics of party and this get value for we. We value is, let we ask a question. How much now the real worth of we country in terms of natural resources? Almost the country they benefit from that. Why would we have a country with a potential to generate trillions of dollars with a go big millions of dollars to IMF and World Bank? Because we don't know value. Some of they come, they talk, they come for come point finger at individuals. When they come for educate the masses, learn and know say it's time to change. And that change has to be a collective effort. It's not about Boye Jallo. It's not about Mr. Shyllon. It's not about VOS. We are just passing elements. It's about creating structures and institutions so that generations yet unborn could benefit from the value of the country. If we not do that, we all pass here. Alek will build 30 or 50 to nose. And for nothing, for thing, we are failures. Now begin know that. If you see Europe develop today, not to yesterday. America developed not to yesterday. The people that will develop America, then look at the value of the country, then say, okay, now we'll put structures in place for generations yet unborn. If we left the country, then they go enjoy America, and then people they been think wisely. Can we do that in Sierra Leone? Yes, we can. But we therefore put aside that blind will cover our face. We therefore look at the bigger picture and understand the bigger picture. With that, I go left una, let God make una get a good week coming. Let everybody achieve what they look for in life. On a good night.